Ow. Ow. How many should I take, hon?
Detoxifying overnight moisturizer. I had never tried a product like this. Do you think that this really just dried up my acne? I loved how this felt on the skin. It didn't feel too heavy at all for an overnight moisturizer, and it really worked to diminish my acne.
U.S. intelligence agencies are expected to deliver an unclassified report to Congress next month on what the government knows about UFOs. With curiosity at a fever pitch, there is new video of a possible encounter. This footage of a radar seen by sailors aboard the USS Omaha back in 2019 shows as many as 14 UFOs swarming the ship off the coast of San Diego. At least one of the objects was moving upwards of 160 miles per hour.
That one's pretty much perfectly 000 relative, right?
Yeah. 263 at 3 miles, 55 knots speed.
Investigative filmmaker Jeremy Corbell says the clip verifies a prior video he released of the same incident, with the earlier footage showing a mysterious object flying over the ship before disappearing into the Pacific Ocean. And as we get a look at more sightings, officials warn that these objects appear to be far more advanced than our aircrafts. Harris, starting with you. So now we have President Obama, who says UFOs exist. You have Republican Director of National Intelligence, formerly John Ratcliffe, saying basically the same. And now we're hearing that they might be far more advanced than U.S. aircrafts. Are you concerned?
Well, what I am concerned about is really what the unidentified portion really means. I mean, I think it's really cool and fun to think that, you know, things may be coming here from another world. What I would be worried about is our enemies doing some stuff, because it's unidentified flying objects. It doesn't say necessarily that they came from a different planet. So we do know that we have some haters. And when you look at the FOIA requests on some of the markings of these, you know that some in the media must be aware of this, right? And the military is always working on things with our enemies. So if they are from another world, let's hope they're friendly. And if they are enemies trying to fly faster than we do, let's find out as much as we can. And if that's the case, you don't have to tell us. Keep it to yourselves, because we want to be able to fight them if we have to, those enemies on the ground, on Earth, who didn't come from another nation or another
That's a great point. Yeah, it's a really great nuance there. Kennedy, you had the head of X-Files come out and say that he's delighted at this news, that UFOs have been a subject of interest of his for a long time. And meanwhile, the former creator of Men in Black came out and said, this is a little scary. So are you delighted or are you scared?
I'm delighted. I think it's fantastic, because if you are able to traverse light years through space, most of which is still a complete mystery to us, between dark matter and dark energy, which makes up a majority of the universe, we don't know how those things behave. And the laws of physics, as we know them, these craft would have to violate that in order to travel from the closest star. It is physically impossible in terms of what we are able to accomplish. So I said this on my show the other night, if they've got craft this advanced, they've got weapons this advanced, and they're not using them. And I truly believe that intelligence will evolve to something closer to goodness than destruction, if for no other reason than for preservation. So I am optimistic about this. And also, we got Tang and Tempur-Pedic mattresses from the moon missions from NASA.
UFOs.
So imagine what we could get with alien technology. I can't wait. Flying cars.
This is Fox News. I have to brush my teeth. to listen.
Cars are just the tip of the iceberg. I love the optimism, Kennedy. Dr. Sapphire, do you maintain that same optimism?
So I'll be honest, I'm with Harris. I don't like the unidentified portion. I mean, right now, we can't even protect ourselves from misinformation from China, and our southern border isn't even secure. So I want to know what these are, because I'm not very confident that we can protect ourselves should we need to. I'd like some more information, so I'm ready for them to release that report.
David, quick answer from you. What do you think we see in this report from the U.S. government?
Well, Harris is spot on. This is two countries telling each other something. It's either us telling China and Russia we have a new weapon, or them telling us they have a new weapon. Or, as the military has done in the past, they don't let us know they have something for 10, 15 years, as they have done with airplanes or fighter jets in the past. And it's likely one of those three scenarios.
We shall see, and we will all wait with bated breath for that report.
Is $1 million enough to retire on? I can hear you now. I sure hope so. Hi, Rex Moore with the Motley Fool here to give you the answer to that question, as well as maybe some suggestions on how you can get there, and that includes some free stock picks from a
We have tackled many strange stories on 60 Minutes, but perhaps none like this. It's the story of the U.S. government's grudging acknowledgement of unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, more commonly known as UFOs. After decades of public denial, the Pentagon now admits there's something out there, and the U.S. Senate wants to know what it is. The Intelligence Committee has ordered the Director of National Intelligence and the Secretary of Defense to deliver a report on the mysterious sightings by next month.
The story will continue in a moment.
So what you're telling me is that UFOs, unidentified flying objects, are real.
Bill, I think we're beyond that already. The government has already stated for the record that they're real. I'm not telling you that. The United States government is telling you that.
Luis Elizondo spent 20 years running military intelligence operations worldwide in Afghanistan, the Middle East, and Guantanamo. He hadn't given UFOs a second thought until 2008. That's when he was asked to join something at the Pentagon called the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or ATIP.
The mission of ATIP was quite simple. It was to collect and analyze information involving anomalous aerial vehicles. What I guess in the vernacular you call them UFOs. We call them UAPs.
You know how this sounds. It sounds nutty, wacky.
Look, Bill, I'm not telling you that it doesn't sound wacky. What I'm telling you is real. The question is, what is it? What are its intentions? What are its capabilities?
Buried away in the Pentagon, ATIP was part of a $22 million program sponsored by then Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid to investigate UFOs. When Elizondo took over in 2010, he focused on the national security implications of unidentified aerial phenomena documented by U.S. service members.
Imagine a technology that can do 600 to 700 G-forces, that can fly at 13,000 miles an hour, that it can evade radar, and that can fly through air and water and possibly space. And oh, by the way, has no obvious signs of propulsion, no wings, no control surfaces, and yet still can defy the natural effects of Earth's gravity. That's precisely what we're seeing.
Elizondo tells us ATIP was a loose-knit mix of scientists, electro-optical engineers, avionics and intelligence experts, often working part-time. They combed through data and records and analyzed videos like this. A Navy aircrew struggled to lock on to a fast-moving object off the U.S. Atlantic coast in 2015. Recently released images may not convince UFO skeptics, but the Pentagon admits it doesn't know what in the world this is. Or this. Or this. So what do you say to the skeptics? It's refracted light, weather balloons, a rocket being launched, Venus.
In some cases, there are simple explanations for what people are witnessing, but there are some that are not. We're not just simply jumping to a conclusion that's saying, oh, that's a UAP out there. We're going through our due diligence. Is it some sort of new type of cruise missile technology that China has developed? Is it some sort of high-altitude balloon that's conducting reconnaissance? Ultimately, when you have exhausted all those what-ifs and you're still left with the fact that this is in our airspace and it's real, that's when it becomes compelling and that's when it becomes problematic.
Former Navy pilot Lieutenant Ryan Graves calls whatever is out there a security risk. He told us his F-18 squadron began seeing UAPs hovering over restricted airspace southeast of Virginia Beach in 2014 when they updated their jet's radar, making it possible to zero in with infrared targeting cameras. So you're seeing it both with the radar and with the infrared, and that tells you that there is something out there.
Pretty hard to spoof that.
These photographs were taken in 2019 in the same area. The Pentagon confirms these are images of objects it can't identify. Lieutenant Graves told us pilots training off the Atlantic coast see things like that all the time.
Every day. Every day for at least a couple of years.
Wait a minute, every day for a couple of years?
Mm-hmm. I don't see an exhaust from.
Including this one, off the coast of Jacksonville, Florida in 2015, captured on a targeting camera by members of Graves' squadron.
There's a thing. It's rotating. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
You can sort of hear the surprise in their voices.
You certainly can. They seem to have broke character a bit. And we're just kind of amazed at what they were seeing.
What do you think when you see something like this?
This is a difficult one to explain. You have rotation, you have high altitudes, you have propulsion, right? I don't know. I don't know what it is, frankly.
He told us pilots speculate they are one of three things: secret U.S. technology, an adversary spy vehicle, or something otherworldly.
I would say, the highest probability is it's a threat observation program.
Could it be Russian or Chinese technology?
I don't see why not.
Are you alarmed?
I am worried, frankly. If these were tactical jets from another country that were hanging out up there, it would be a massive issue. But because it looks slightly different, we're not willing to actually look at the problem in the face. We're happy to just ignore the fact that these are out there watching us every day.
So I'm gonna
the government has ignored it, at least publicly, since closing its Project Blue Book investigation in 1969.